everyone? It is Monday, the end of the day here. A little bit different for JPNN, but we're still going to cover all the stuff that happened over the weekend, as well as any other news that we did not cover regarding drop frames and not E3 2022, as well as the Capcom event that just happened. Spoilers, there was nothing of value within that 35 minutes that they showed. We'll get to the rest of the news, though. There's a handful of things, and get you all caught up so you can go about your way and continue playing those video games. Let's get started. Let us begin and talk a little bit about Microsoft. Because Microsoft and the Communication Workers of America, CWA, announced today a neutrality pact designed to allow the firm's employees to decide without interference whether or not they wish to form a union. The CWA, which had expressed concerns about Microsoft's plan to buy Activision Blizzard, now supports the deal. The president, Christopher Shelton, told Axios.com, quote, Microsoft has now given those employees a seat at the table. They've pulled out a chair and said you can sit down or not sit down. Okay, sure, that makes sense. Microsoft President Brad Smith shared, quote, every aspect of success in technology comes from employees. This is an agreement grounded in respect for employees. We believe lots of big companies should be doing the same thing. I think that's a pretty good way to approach that. And glad that, they have a seat at the table now, so to speak. Take-Two CEO Strauss Zelnick, once again in the news for agreeing with PlayStation's stance on not releasing brand new AAA products into a subscription service on the day they're released. Speaking at GI Live online last month, the publisher boss reiterated his views on the business model, but says it can be effective for catalog games. We've supported various subscription services and we're happy to do so, Zelnick said during his keynote. He continued, our skepticism has been around making frontline console products available day and date with subscription. That does not make any sense to us because economically speaking, we don't think consumers are prepared to pay for that. And we can't afford to turn our business upside down in a way that doesn't make sense economically. That's okay. That's the thing. That's they don't want to, they don't want to game past their business is really the whole core of what he's trying to say. He goes on, there's always has to be an intersection between what the consumer wants and what the publisher is able to do. And it doesn't make sense to do that on our properties. That's our opinion, and I think Sony agrees with us because it said so. Yeah. Meanwhile, consumers, I think, will continue to enjoy Game Pass because Xbox did kind of change their entire business around that. So it is what it is, I suppose. Chinese company Perfect World has denied that it's charging graduates for work at its studio. According to the South China Morning Post, the firm had posted an ad via its training program, Perfect World Education, with successful graduate applicants charged 17,800 won, or $2,643, to work on the development of a multiplayer survival title. In a statement, Perfect World clarified that the training offer was restricted to internal students already part of its education program. Quote, we've received a lot of feedback from students that they want to participate in the development and operation of real-world projects, so we organized the project for them. The North American version of Sony's revamped PlayStation Plus service has gone live in the region, confirming several new games and NTSC versions of PS1 classics. Last month, when the service launched in some Asian territories, It revealed that first-party PlayStation games being added to PS4 and PS5's revamped PS Plus catalog were the slower PAL 50 Hz versions. However, Video Games Chronicle has confirmed that North American users will be getting the NTSC versions. So if you're at all curious, you should be good to go with that 60 FPS goodness. Saudi Arabia is set to host the world's, quote, biggest esports and gaming event this summer. The event is called Gamers 8, and it's being held at the state-of-the-art, purpose-built venue at Riyadh Boulevard City from July 14th to September 8th, with some of the world's top players taking part. The competition will be contested across 6 different titles with a $15 million prize pool, 8 international artists performing during the 8-week tournament. Prince, I hope I can pronounce this correctly, Prince Faisal bin Bandar bin Sultan, chairman of the Saudi Esports Federation, said, quote, with an estimated 23.5 million gamers across the country, almost every home in the kingdom has someone with a deep passion for gaming. This passion for gaming has long been a source of pride for Saudis. Our goal is to bring the virtual world of esports and gaming out into the physical realm of Riyadh, a global city with immense purpose and burgeoning opportunity, and the ideal setting for Gamers 8. We look forward to seeing you all this summer for what will be an unforgettable, futuristic, and incredible time. I guess we'll see what that looks like. What the fuck? Okay, sure. First, I've heard of that, and we'll be covering that, I guess, later in July, just to see what the fuck that is. That's a giant prize pool. I might even know some folks that are going to that if it's competitive gaming focused. So we'll see. A little bit of a sad note here. Billy Kametz, who you might have known as Ferdinand von Aegir in the Fire Emblem Three Houses, Josuke Higashikata in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Diamond. Diamond is Unbreakable, or Takuta Maruki in Persona 5 Royal, has passed away on June 9th. He was 35 years old and was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer in late April. That's sad news. Moving along to the recap of the showcases this past couple of days. Xbox Bethesda's showcase was pretty good. Just to kind of run through it real quick, we had Arcane Studios' Vampire Co-op, first-person shooter Redfall, that's going to be coming out in 2023. The trailer is kind of a weird juxtaposition of themes. You've got a bunch of blood, a bunch of vampire stuff, and then you got like big pink guns. I don't know. It looks okay. It looks like Left 4 Dead, but on the Xbox. You know, hopefully Arcane can kind of get their shooting to be spicier and more fun, and it might look okay for like a Game Pass time with a bunch of friends. We'll see. The new Forza Motorsport is scheduled for spring of 2023. Looks very good graphically. Definitely check that trailer out if you haven't seen it. Flintlock, the Siege of Dawn, is a third-person action RPG, which is set for early 2023. Pentiment. That's Obsidian Entertainment's CRPG inspired from Disco Elysium. I wouldn't call it a CRPG really, but maybe I would. I don't know. It looks kind of strange. It's coming out on November 2022, later this year. Persona 3 Portable, Persona 4 Golden, and Persona 5 Royal are coming to Xbox and Xbox Game Pass, with Persona 5 Royal being the first later this year on October 21st, 2022. Pretty big news there. The Last Case of Benedict Fox, a horror Metroidvania-like game, is out in spring 2023. And Survival Horror Scorn will be available and released fully October 21st later this year. The game was previously scheduled to release back in autumn of 2021. Diablo 4 was featured within the conference, and its 5th and final class, the Necromancer, was announced. They've showed a bunch of new gameplay as well. If you want to go check out the Drop Frames coverage of that, or just head on over to the Diablo 4 website, so I think they have all of that. Wo Long Fallen Destiny, which is a new Neo / kind of Onimusha-like game set in the Romance of the Three Kingdoms era. That is from Team Ninja. It's set for early release in 2023. Hideo Kojima announced that Kojima Production is going to be partnering with Xbox for an untitled game that was rumored for a pretty long time. And so they finally got out there and announced it. What is the actual game? Well, that leaked a couple of days ago. I don't know why they just didn't go with that, but unless they're changing things, who could really say? But at least they got out there and actually showed some of that stuff. And finally, kind of the biggest news, arguably, or maybe not even arguably, maybe just definitively the biggest news to come out of the Xbox Bethesda showcase yesterday, apart from all of the Starfield stuff, is that Riot's biggest titles are all coming to Game Pass this year, most likely around the winter, if not early next year. And they're going to have all the heroes unlocked for like League of Legends, Valorant, anything Riot based. You can get it all as long as you have Game Pass. Kind of a big deal. They must have paid a very huge chunk of change for that. But it's good for Game Pass people. If you're playing any of those games in Riot's ecosystems and you haven't bought all the heroes yet, well, now you get them for free, as long as you have Game Pass. The other show that happened last night was the PC Gamer Live show. Not the greatest event. They had a handful of stuff there. Solstice, which is a Gothic-themed hack and slash. That's set for September, later this year on September 20th. There was a game called Demon School. It's an RPG inspired by games like Persona and Into the Breach. That's scheduled for 2023. Back Firewall, which is a narrative adventure. That's coming out later this year. The Invincible, a sci-fi thriller inspired by a novel with the same name, is coming out in 2023. Moving forward to today, there was the Guerrilla Collective Showcase 3.5. Some indie stuff, nothing really new coming out of that. And then the Capcom event, which announced absolutely nothing earlier today. They did have a bunch of Sunbreak content, because of course that's being released later this month. They announced a handful of heroes. The Monster Hunter 4 U, I think Title Hero is, or Title Monster is going to be involved in that. And then they gave a bunch of updates on Resident Evil 8, because that's being made into some VR stuff. They've got like some DLC coming out for it. They've got the gold version of that. Resident Evil 4 was there, you know, that game that came out 15 years ago. They talked about the story and graphics and all that. We got some updates on Exoprimal, which is that game where you fight a giant horde of dinosaurs from an evil AI. No, I'm not making that up. Yes, that's the basis of the game. It's going to be 5v5, kind of competitive in some of the modes. I don't know. It looks okay. It looks okay. And then finally, after 10 years, Dragon's Dogma fans get excited because a digital event was announced. That's it. No, not Dragon's Dogma 2, just the digital event. It'll be happening June 16th at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. bullshit time zone. Gonna be honest, no one really left that event happy. Maybe Dragon's Dogma 2 shows up at this 10-year anniversary event on the 16th. But why not announce it here? Why wait till the 16th? If anything, they might announce a remake, or maybe they're just not going to announce anything, and that's all we're going to get. Who could say? We'll cover that event on the 16th, though, and bring you whatever it is they announce. Kojima Productions, earlier today, on Twitter, confirmed that it will continue working with PlayStation following yesterday's announcement of its Xbox partnership. The full tweet is, quote, after the announcement of our partnership with Microsoft using the cloud technology, many people have asked us about our collaboration with Sony Interactive Entertainment. Please be assured that Please be assured that we will continue to have a very good partnership with PlayStation as well. People that were actually upset about this, you guessed it, PlayStation fanboys. They were very upset that Kojima betrayed them, as they should be. Yesterday, during Xbox Bethesda Showcase, it was announced that 3 games from the Persona series are coming to Xbox and PC. Today, a press release shared with Eurogamer states, quote, these beloved games will also be heading to Steam and PlayStation 5. However, without a release date, which could mean that these games might be a timed exclusive for Xbox and PC. We'll have to see what happens with that. Stalker 2 which had its development halted due to the ongoing war in Ukraine, appears to be set for a 2023 release date. Following Xbox and Bethesda's game showcase, Xbox tweeted a graphic with images of its upcoming games, and Stalker 2 was listed under the 2023 side of the graphic. Xbox notes that all games listed in the image are targeting to release over the next 12 months. They might come out and change all of that in the next couple of months, but hey, maybe we'll see it next year. We'll see. Speaking to IGN Japan, Street Fighter VI producer Shuhei Matsumoto has suggested that Metro City, the open world area shown in the game footage last week, will be one of several different areas in the game. When asked if the graffiti-laden streets of Metro City were supposed to be a depiction of America, Matsumo answered, quote, "I don't think that Street Fighter culture has anything to do with countries, so I don't really think about it." He goes on and says the first stage of the world tour is in Metro City, so maybe that's where he got the impression from. IGN Japan followed up on this, asking what Matsuno meant by first stage, to which Matsuno replied, "Well, it's the world tour. I can't say for sure yet, but I hope you will look forward to hearing more about it. I'm working on something that will allow you to travel the world and experience how it feels to be strong." Wow. Sorry, man. I'm sorry. There's also some other interesting bits from the interview, such as development started on the game in 2018 with a 92-page document that already included the 3 main pillars. No explanation, however, was on what those 3 main pillars are. Could be main characters, who could say? The development team also is highly motivated, and they are giving daily suggestions about the game. Director Nakayama says he has never experienced such a positive dev process. It's exciting stuff. I think Street Fighter VI is looking great. They also came out and said that it will have crossplay as well as rollback netcode. The developers of Street Fighter VI informed a friend of the show, as well as just friend of me in general, Maximilian Dude, who's a well-known content creator in the fighting games community, as well as GameSpot editor Timur Hussein during the Summer Game Fest Playdays, which is the in-person extension for the show Summer Game Fest. They both, of course, took to Twitter to share this. Maximilian Dude said, "Confirmed from the Street Fighter devs, Street Fighter VI will have crossplay." And Hussein also said, Timur said, "Street Fighter VI uses rollback netcode. Lots of people are asking." I will also add regarding the rollback netcode, Street Fighter V and Street Fighter IV also used a version of rollback netcode. However, this one is a little bit different because they're using RE Engine and not Unreal Engine. And so that might actually change a bunch of things regarding rollback. How good is it going to be? We'll just have to see when the actual game comes out. Activision had a press release revealing that Overwatch 2 is launching in early access, releasing on Windows PC and Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, and Nintendo Switch consoles on October 4th, with Overwatch's 2 PvP experience going free to play. Diablo 4 is coming to Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 5, alongside versions for Windows PC, Xbox One, PlayStation 4, with cross-play and cross-progression enabled for all platforms in 2023. The big one there is obviously cross-progression. Kind of cool. Focus Entertainment will be hosting a live show which will include a Plague's Tale release date reveal, as well as an exclusive gameplay trailer and more. This will be happening on June 23rd at 6 p.m. CEST, 12 p.m. Eastern, and 9 a.m. Pacific. This past week, the Steam top sellers ending for the week of June the 12th. Number 1, Steam Deck. 2, V-Rising. Call of Duty sitting at number 3 with Modern Warfare 2. That's all pre-orders, by the way. Elden Ring at number 4, and the Valve Index sitting at number 5. Got a couple rumors here to wrap up the show. During a recent Twitch stream, Sony Santa Monica writer and former game journalist, Alana Pierce, not Alana. Alana Pierce stated that the next Nintendo Direct is coming on June 29th. Buddy, I'm doing the news. Pierce was asked by a viewer if a Nintendo Direct had been announced, to which she replied, "No, but I believe there is a Nintendo Direct coming on the 29th. I don't know if that's been announced. You heard it here first. Let me check. Yep, I have it written down for the 29th, June 29th, Nintendo Direct. It's not technically a leak because Nintendo didn't tell me, which is how I make that call. But it's also, I'm not leaking anything that's in it, which is what I think is shitty. According to the VGC, Pierce's comments match with what VGC has been told, that Nintendo is planning a direct later this month. We'll be covering that on JPNN. Probably won't cover it with drop frames. Maybe we'll grab Elspeth and Luxie and do a little Nintendo Direct co-stream. We'll have to see. Let me pull up the releases for the week here via JPedia. I forgot to do that before recording. It's the 13th. Are there any games coming out? Rocket League Season 7 on the 15th. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Shredder's Revenge on the 16th. Neo White also on the 16th. And that's it. There's not much. Got to wait till kind of the end of June for the big game releases. We got one more conference tomorrow. That's going to be the Xbox Showcase Extended. I think it's going to mostly be a bunch of developer interviews, maybe some gameplay shown with that stuff. Shouldn't be any big announcements. We'll make sure that it's in the Wednesday edition, though, of JPNN. That's it for us today. Thank you so much. Feel free to drop a comment. Tell us what you like about the show. Tell us what you don't like about the show. We'd love a sub if you aren't already subscribed to youtube.com/itmeJP. And for now, I've lost my outro. But we'll see you on Wednesday for more. Bye-bye.